What's up guys, before this video starts, I just wanted to tell you about a great new opportunity to work with me on a one-to-one basis for your music and for your projects. Something I get asked about all of the time, but in reality, it is unrealistic because of the amount of messages and comments I get through. Until now, we have just released the new exclusive community and online mentoring program. So if you go to DamianKeyes.com, it tells you everything you need to know. And if you want to book a one-to-one Skype with me to talk about your music or your social media strategy, you can do that. Or if you want to be even more in depth and have a monthly mentoring program, that is available too. Also, something I'm incredibly proud of is the new exclusive community, which is a chance for me to make more content, which is a little bit more in depth away from YouTube, as well as be involved in the comments and work with you on your strategy and your music. So if you're serious about your music career and you think that I can help, then why not check out DamianKeyes.com and I shall hopefully see you soon. On with the video. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this week, South by Southwest Festival in Austin has been cancelled due to the coronavirus. And if you don't know, South by Southwest is probably the most important festival in the world when it comes to up and coming emerging talent like you. Not only has the festival lost $350 million, but it is not insured for this epidemic. Whilst it's insured up to the eyeballs, most insurance for festivals doesn't cover epidemics or pandemics, which means it could have major knock-on effects for any other South by Southwest festival coming up over the coming years. Now, this coming Saturday in the UK, Country to Country Festival C2C is playing, and the headliners Old Dominion have also pulled out, putting that festival on shaky ground. And meanwhile, Ultra Festival in Miami has just been pulled. We are losing these festivals fast due to this coronavirus, but it's not just festivals. Other artist gigs and tours are also being pulled. And in the last 2 weeks, we've also lost tours from Marilyn Manson, Avril Lavigne, Green Day, Steve Aoki, Youngblood. I mean, these artists' tours are going down fast. And with massive artists like Justin Bieber announcing that his up-and-coming tour will be arenas instead of stadiums to avoid having the half-sold-out venue approach, things are pretty bad. Now all eyes turn to Coachella, the $1 billion festival, and with just around a month to go until one of the biggest festivals in the world goes ahead, the organizers are panicking. Okay, so losing huge festivals and these massive artists means that you might not be able to go and see your favorite bands and artists this year. But surely that doesn't affect you, the gigging musician, right? Wrong. It's not just the top-end music industry that's being affected. We are literally weeks away from wedding season, and weddings for many musicians are their bread and butter. Now, weddings are seasonal, so while people do get married all year round, May to September is the busiest time of the year, with many musicians gigging 3 or 4 times a week over that period. On top of that, the cruise line industry is being decimated, with many cruise line ships still out at sea in some kind of prison quarantine type thing, where people can't get on and off the boats. Nobody is going to be booking a cruise anytime soon. And think about what that means for any cruise line entertainers and musicians who make their money on these ships. But what if you don't make your money as a musician from gigging? What happens if it's just your original music and your original band? Well, festival season is just around the corner, which means you will have plenty of opportunities to play gigs at festivals and other events over the next couple of months. But will those even go ahead? This week, the global live entertainment company Live Nation announced $4.5 billion off the bottom line from their stock price. $4.5 billion. Now, when you think about this company owns festivals like Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, Isle of Wight Festival, Reading Festival, Leeds Festival, and a host of others around the world. This could be absolutely massive for the music industry. The knock-on effects aren't just for artists, because songwriters and producers are unable or unwilling to fly, so can't fulfill their commitments. And this is going to have huge knock-on effects for the economic ramifications of the country. After all, if we stutter for a certain amount of time and go into a recession, it means for the less opportunities that there are a lot more musicians and bands trying to jump on those opportunities. So with that massive doom and gloom, here's a couple of things that I think that you should be thinking about over the next couple of days and weeks. Number one, do you have income protection insurance? Now, income protection insurance is exactly what it says. It protects your income should you be ill or unable to do gigs. So should your gigs get pulled or should you be ill, it means you won't be out of pocket. Now, considering musicians live month to month, sometimes week to week, this could be an actual crucial benefit should the shit hit the fan and things go wrong over the next couple of months. Number two, now is the time to take this seriously and figure how much money you can save and put away for that rainy day around the corner. It's time to downsize. It's time to maybe not take that Uber and take the bus instead. Maybe it's time to keep those strings on that guitar for a little bit longer. Maybe it's time to cook your own food instead of going out and eating on the night. Think of it as a tax. Imagine if you had to tax yourself 20% of your income, which went in a separate bank account, meaning you can't spend it. Yes, it would be tough, but what it would mean is, should you have a couple of weeks, month, or a couple of months where your money is not coming in, you at least have some saved for a rainy day. And number three, this is a big one, update your marketing. Should we potentially end up in a recession, or even if we don't end up in a recession and more people are fighting for the less opportunities are there, it will mean that you are in a dogfight. Whether you are an originals band, a covers band, a musician looking for work, it just means there is more saturation for the less work. So in which case you need to market your way out of that problem. That means new photos, new videos, keeping your social media up to date, showing the world why you should get that opportunity over everybody else. Now, the way I like to sum this up is an old joke by Billy Connolly. Two guys are on safari and they've got the binoculars and they're staring at this lion. All of a sudden, the lion looks at them and spots them and they both think, oh, this looks a bit dangerous. And the lion starts approaching them. And as he does it, one guy starts putting on his Nike trainers. And the other guy looks at him and says, mate, you are never going to outrun a lion. And the guy says, fuck the lion, I just need to outrun you. And lastly, you need to know and understand your rights as a musician. Now, if you've got a gig which is contracted, potentially with a live agent, and that gig gets pulled due to illness or lack of ticket sales, that gig is on them. You have nothing to worry about. However, if that gig gets pulled because the government has enforced some kind of epidemic lockdown like it has in Italy or China, then in which case this becomes a different issue. This is about force majeure. Force majeure is a phrase which means superior force, which effectively means out of the control of that agency or that contract. Now, this means the contract becomes void because you are unable to do the contract for whatever reason, in this case, an epidemic where the government is not allowing you to do the gig. Now, when this happens, it means it's a very grey area of what you are allowed to claim back for and what you are not. Now, force majeure means the contract is void. It means you are unable to do the contract, but it's not your fault, but at the same point, it's not the other party's fault either, which means it's very difficult for you to claim the fees for those gigs. But up until that point, if you have a contract for a gig, you are legally allowed to pursue payment for that gig if it has been pulled without force majeure. I personally think the music industry is in for a tough ride, and I think as musicians, whilst we do make money from streaming, the bulk of our money comes from the road. It comes from touring and gigging and working, and if that gets taken away from us, that means it's a lot tougher. And I'm not just talking about the top end level musicians. I'm talking about anybody who is on the road doing gigs, whether you're playing festivals, weddings, cruise ships, studio work. All of this is now under fire for what you will and won't be able to do over the next couple of weeks and months. The knock-on effect for the economy after the coronavirus might be massive, and losing some gigs might force us into a recession. So we need to be prepared to work harder and have all of our eggs in the basket and market to the highest level to make sure that we are fighting for whatever opportunities are out there. Now, hopefully I'll be wrong and the coronavirus will go away and everything will be fine and dandy and back to normal by the time festival season comes along. But this is all about being prepared, and I want to make sure you guys are looked after. But I want to know what you think. What you think is coming up for the music industry as a direct result of this coronavirus. So if you can leave that in the comments below, because I am fascinated with this subject at the moment. I'm also kind of concerned because in our office we lost 5 gigs in the last couple of days, so I'm expecting some more over the next couple of weeks. So I'm preparing for the worst. I hope that you are as well. So guys, thanks for watching. I know it sounds weird, but if you wouldn't mind liking, or more importantly, subscribing and being a part of this community, because we're doing this all of the time, and I'm so proud to watch you guys grow your marketing and grow your music career. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.